Hi all, welcome to Unit 11, Lesson 1. Please print this lesson. If you do not have access to a printer, copy them into your notes. Try to find graph paper because almost every question in this unit will be needed to have some kind of graph with it. If you cannot find any graph paper in the house, just use a ruler, scale your axis, and do the best you can. Follow along with the video. If you think the video is going too fast, please pause and go back and do your best. Repeat the video. You should be trying all those different things. And your homework is going to be the independent practice. Please upload it onto Canvas or just take a picture and you can email it to your teacher. Okay, so let's get started with the do now. I've already filled in a few questions, so if you see something filled in, is for the reason that this video is not too long. So that's the whole purpose of filling me some of the information. Okay, so now let's get started with it. It says using the graphed picture. So a graph of a line is already given to you, right? So let's talk about the equation of a line. What is the equation of a line? The equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. What does m and b stand for? M stands for the slope and b is your y-intercept. Y-intercept is the point where the graph crosses the y-axis. So here the purple line's crossing the y-axis at this point, so that's your y-intercept. Okay, please know this is called the slope-intercept form because you need your slope and your y-intercept to write this equation. So letter A, it says what are the coordinates of the y-intercept? The minute you see y-intercept, underline that, and what should you be writing on top? B. We're looking for a B, and we just figured that out. That was what? -3, right? But we want to write it as a coordinate, so brackets, anything on the y-axis, x coordinate will always be 0. Any point on the y-axis, it could be any point. Okay, so please be very careful of that. Okay, so the next one says what is the slope of the line? The minute you see slope, what should go above it? M. What is the slope? Thinking about old school, it's what? Rise over run. So let's write, we use M for slope. Okay, so rise. So pick a point. I'm going to start with my y-intercept and I'm going to pick another point. Be very careful when you're picking the other point. I can't pick this point, and I'll tell you, I'm just going to highlight it. I can't pick this point because it's in between the lines. It has to be at the corner of the line. So this point would not be a good one, right? So what point should I pick? If you get thinking of it, it's this point. Yep. So how much am I rising? I went up to, right, I'm going to the right one. So what's my slope? Rise over run. You can think about it. Look, it's like a staircase. You went up 2 over 1. It's the same pattern. You're going up 2 again over 1, up 2 over 1. No matter, you could have picked any 2 points and you would get the same slope. It is constant, so it is what? And the line, read your graph from left to right. It's going up, so it's a positive slope. So 2 over 1, which is just 2. Okay, so now it's saying write the equation. Whenever it says equation, I'm going to write it in slope-intercept form, right? I need my M, I need my B. Do we know our M? Yes, it's 2, and our B is -3. So let's write down this equation. It is y equals M is 2x. Remember, in your linear equation, the coefficient of x is your slope, minus 3. And that's your equation of the line. Okay, an equation must have an equal sign. You should write it y equals. Okay, now it's part D. It says graph and label the equation y equals 2x plus 4. So I wrote something up here for you guys to read. Begin with B, move with M. What does that mean? In this equation, the equation that's given to me here, right, what's my M and what's my B? My M is the coefficient of x, which is 2, and my B is, just going to use this, B is 4, right? So I'm going to first begin with your B. Plot your y-intercept, your B first. So B is 1, 2, 3, 4. Your B is right here. Oh, my bad. b is right here. 1 2 3 4. That is 4. And your slope is what? 2. So that's your rise, but what's over it? So it's 2 over basically 1. Can I write it 2 over 1? So it's up 2 over 1. So that's my next point. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. So these are my points. Like, be very careful. Now, what happens if I'm going in the reverse order? I'm going down 2. Now this time I'm not going to go to the right one. I'm going to go to the left one. And use your common sense. If I went to the right one, it won't be looking like a line, right? So down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. If you have a calculator, definitely you can use the calculator to draw this line. Use your ruler if you have it handy. If not, just connect those points to the best of your ability. Label your line, which is what? Y equals 2x plus 4. Did you notice anything similar? Whenever you're doing some math work, I've given more than one equation. Do you see any similarities here? Let's see. Are these lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Explain. Okay, parallel lines that never intersect. Perpendicular that make 90-degree angles. So look at these two lines, the red one and the purple one. Do they meet? No, they don't meet. So they are parallel. So they are parallel because why? And I'll tell you why. Look at this. Your M here is 2. And what is your M here? 2. They both have the same slope. So the slopes, remember, if your slopes are the same, the lines are parallel. The slopes are the same or equal. Any of those things is good to go. Okay? So again, pause the video anytime. Try the next question on your own, and then we'll do it together. Okay, let's go. So it says convert the equations into slope-intercept form. Whenever I say slope-intercept form, it means what? I'm talking about y equals mx plus b. This is the form I want my equation to be in. And identify the slope. Slope is my m, and my y-intercept is b. Then graph. Your equation is not in the slope-intercept form, so you want to make it in slope-intercept form. Basically, solve for slope-intercept means, let's write that down, solve for y. That's what should come to your mind, okay? So I subtract 2. This cancels. I have negative y equals 5x minus 2. Divide by negative 1. Divide each term by negative 1, and you get y equals negative 5x plus 2. Okay, so now what's your slope? Your m is the coefficient of x, which is negative 5. Let's write it as a fraction. Negative 5 over 1. What's my b, my y-intercept? B is 2, because we have to graph them. Going back to the top of the page, what we wrote was begin with your b and move with your m. So what's my b? My b is 2, which is positive, which is the y-intercept along the y-axis, 1, 2. So I'm going to put a big dot here and move with your m. Okay, so now this says negative 5. It means you're going to go down 5. You're going to start with going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. So that's your point. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. Do we understand that, right? Now, if I'm going up 5, I'm going to go to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. And look at this line. 3, 4, 5 over 1. So this is what my line looks like. And think if I was to read this line or trace it from left to right, right? I'm going to try trace it with my highlighter. See, if I was to trace it, what is it going? Am I not going from left to right, going down? So that's why that's kind of an indication that it has a negative slope, okay? So that's what it is. Okay, let's try again. Try B, and if you've already tried it, let's go about it. Again, you're solving for y, so add x. Remember, these are not like terms. So it's what? 2y equals x plus 4. Divide by 2. Divide each term by 2. So this cancels, and you're left with y equals x over 2 is same thing as 1/2 x plus 2. So your slope is coefficient of x, which is 1/2, and your b is 2. Again, go back to the same saying. Begin with your b and move with your m. Remember, your slope is positive, so this line will be going up. So begin with your b. My b is 2, positive 2, and I'm going to go up. If you want to do arrows, that might help you too, because it's positive. We're going to go up and to the right. So up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, right? And if I'm going down 1, I'm going to go to the left 2, down 1, left 2. And those are good enough points to sketch a line. Oh, I forgot to label them. Please make sure you label them. I always like to label them with the original one. And this one also, let's label this. This was what? Negative y plus 2 equals 5x. Okay, so that's basically it. So try the next question and then we'll take it from there.